Hello and welcome. Thank you everyone for joining today and giving your valuable time to attend fifth episode of the Empower webinar series. I'm your host for today and the speaker to take you through the possibilities of what low code, no code technology can bring it to your business. We will ensure that you get something amazing out of this session today and apply in your business for a great impact. Let me introduce you to the speakers. I'm your speaker and a host as well. And we also have Alexander Georges, which we call Alex. Alex is solution architect for Power Platform from Microsoft, and he looks after Australia and New Zealand region. It is my pleasure to have Alex today as a speaker. I have been working with Alex for some time, and I'm sure everyone will get a great insights into Power Platform. Now, there is a great buzz around automation, low code, and AI. Today, we are going to go a bit deeper into what technology is available and how we can apply within your business. We also have a bonus contributor from Jared, who will talk about importance of backup and how we can achieve it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask through chat and we will try to get them answered during this session or as a follow-up activity. Not holding any long, let me hand it over to Alex. Over to you, Alex.
Hello, and thanks for having me today to talk about a topic that I know we're both very passionate about, the Power Platform. Power Platform, what a fun way to start. So I've been in the Power Platform space for a few years now. I love it, but I think it requires a little bit of understanding of why. Like, what is this thing? But like, why does this exist? And it really aims to solve a lot of the problems that exist in industry right now. There are so many processes, so many limitations in the way that businesses operate, and therefore there's so many needs for apps or just digitalization of the processes that exist and automation. So we've got this surging digital demand, and everyone wants an app for everything. Everyone wants a portal for their customers to access, or I guess in our new world, they want a co-pilot or chatbot for their users to use. And the demand is huge, but there just aren't enough developers to build it all up from the ground up. It's a challenge. We've got this huge demand, but not enough people who can do it, because traditionally to do all that, to build out a process or an application or a portal for customers to use, you would need to be an expert at coding. Or if you want to build out a chatbot, you need to be a scientist in some cases, if we go back far enough, to understand how artificial intelligence works. So it's like not an option to upskill everyone to be able to execute on the needs of business. So here's our solution is we have the Power Platform, which is a whole platform, an ecosystem that allows people without deep technical expertise to be able to participate. It's democratizing that deep tech and allows more people to solve technical problems, which is already seeing in the many years that it's been out now, it's just seeing this organic growth of people want to be empowered to be able to build things that they're close to the problem. So what is the Power Platform? Now, I'm not going to go too deep into any of these products because I think each one could be a full session on its own. But basically, the Power Platform is these 5 main products, and it's underpinned by a common ecosystem. So we've got the ability to build co-pilots in Microsoft Copilot Studio. A co-pilot is that more conversational experience. So if you go onto a retail website and you want to have a chat about the products that you can buy or the one that you just bought, or you just want to ask general frequently asked questions, that comes under Copilot, and you can build that out in, honestly, minutes. Using Microsoft Copilot Studio, you could build out something that works pretty well and is ready to be deployed onto a website. Then we've got that ability to make automations in Power Automate. That's when we want to automate a workflow. It might be something for personal use, such as every time I get an email from this important client or from my manager, I want to be sent a message on my Teams or a notification on my phone so I know that it's there. Or it could be something that's really process driven. So there might be an important process within an organization, such as provisioning a new device, and it has to go through certain approval steps. That's something that you could automate as part of Power Automate. Then we've got apps. Apps is, for a while, until Copilot Studio came along, it's the one that always takes center focus. But Power Apps allows you to create an application type experience. Once again, using low code, so it's a similar UI to what you would see in PowerPoint. It's drag and drop. You can add functionality so that users within the organization can complete a task. It might be that they want to track information, or they want field workers to be able to access and update records. Power Apps is all about those internal use cases, and then we move to Power Pages, which is those external use cases. I want a portal that I can use to communicate with my customers. My customers can log into it to see their data, or they can just access it to see general questions. And then, of course, Power BI, which is our data visualization tool. All of these are underpinned by a common data platform, which is the Dataverse. They use this language called PowerFX, which is very similar to the level of coding that you would have in Excel, I guess, like if statements. And then we've got over 1,000 connectors, which are just APIs that plug into other systems as well. So we're not building something completely different that's going to store our data in a separate spot. We've got this really cohesive platform that plugs in to existing technologies and existing spaces to be able to store data, but also to take action. And of course, we've got AI infused throughout as well. Why would we use the Power Platform? Well, as I mentioned, there's a lot of problems that exist in organizations or in companies that there's low-hanging fruits where an app could really solve a problem that is sinking a lot of time or is causing a lot of frustration for users. It's also really cheap. Relative to spinning something up from the ground up, you can create an app really rapidly without heaps of technical expertise, but also with the ability to extend it and be able to create something that is really enterprise grade and everyone in the company can use. And then, of course, that extensibility, be able to plug into existing ecosystems and sit on top of it is really powerful when we're talking about the Power Platform as well. Pun not intended. Difficult to get through a conversation without using the word power. Microsoft has heaps of companies and organizations around the world that are using Power Apps. Some really small ones that have a small, tight-knit team, or a one-person show that just needs to automate a process for themselves, all the way up to giant organizations. Microsoft ourselves use the Power Platform quite a bit, but also there's some fantastic use cases out there from the likes of Coca-Cola or EY, or there's an enormous number. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's some great use cases out there. One that I wanted to highlight today is this one, Electrolock. They are a manufacturing equipment provider, and they had a problem in that there was causing them a lot of friction that they needed to manage their inventory. And it wasn't an easy process. It was costing them a lot of money, but also time, but also mistakes. And mistakes of frustration, and then that will cost them more money in the longer term as well. So what they were able to do is to create an app using low code so that every time someone moved a piece of equipment, or for a particular customer, a piece of equipment was needed, it could be updated in that app that people could access on tablets that were in the warehouse, I think it's pretty cool because it empowers people to just live update the source of data, which in that case was Dynamics, but it could be any source of data that has API endpoints coming out of it. They also, pointing to that same data, had a model-driven app, which is a more formalized view where a manager could go through and see what products were being taken, and also initiate processes from there as well, such as setting off a PO from that view as well using Power Automate. And then also, of course, Power Pages exists. Um, and like in this scenario, they didn't use Power Pages, but I just wanted to showcase how we can combine all of these in together. We could use Power Pages to have people self-service. Customers can request inventory on their own or using that same backend system. So that's just one kind of scenario, but there is in, literally an infinite number of scenarios where you could use the Power Platform. I'm not going to go into an infinite number of scenarios because that would take probably more than the time allocated. But I just wanted to really show that, like, there's a list here, but think about what those problems are in your company, in your organization. What are those challenges, and how could an app fix that? How could automating a process really solve that pain point that you've got right now? Not only is it really easy already because of the way that the Power Platform has been built to be able to create an app or automate a process, or create a copilot. Power Platform has only gotten supercharged with AI over the last year. You can use English and a conversational approach to create your own apps. So if I jump to here, we can see that traditionally the Power Platform required some skills, probably somewhere in between Excel and being a pro developer. And the reason that that's so long is because pro developers still have that option to code and to make things a little bit more modular and bring their pro dev skills in if they need to. But for anyone that's able to use Excel, the barrier of entry to the Power Platform was already fairly low. But then moving from that, now with AI, the barrier for entry is even beyond that. It's somewhere along where PowerPoint is. If you can create a PowerPoint deck, which I feel is a fairly common skill that people have, then building something in the Power Platform is probably around the same in terms of its technical complexity. Something else I wanted to highlight here is that not only can we use AI to create apps and automations, but we can also use AI in our apps and automations and copilots. So that means we can summarize data really quickly in the apps that we're building, or we can pull out key insights based off a data set. Things like that that really just supercharge what we might be able to do. One that I see quite often is that ability to point a phone at a form, take a photo, and then pull out all of those fields from that form and push it into a data set. Just think about how much time something as simple as that saves an administrative worker who's otherwise typing in every element on the form one at a time. So to show you just how easy it is to build something in the Power Platform, I thought I'd demonstrate it. Awesome. So what I'm here in the Power App Studio, and today we're going to create an app. And what I want that app to allow me to do is to track everyone that comes into my office. It might be that I have a work site and it's important for OH&S reasons that we track people that come in or out, or it might be just the reception staff in my place of work. It needs to be able to track who's coming in and out. So we go here, and it's giving me this conversational experience. What should the app do? Let's give it a bit of context. I need to be able to track every guest that comes into my office building. Let's keep it quite broad. We can be more specific if needed, but just for the purpose of this demonstration, let's see what it comes up with. Perfect. So we can see guest ID, it's capturing their name, company, the time they got in, the time they got out, and the purpose of why they were there. I haven't had to tell it to create all these fields. It's kind of just done it, which is pretty cool because traditionally you would have had to go through, create a database first, create a table, think about every field that we needed to include. AI has done that all for me. It's made this a lot much easier process. Let's go in here and say, that's great, we've got everything, but what we're missing is who's signing them in. So let's say we need a field to show which employee is signing them in, and I can use this conversational experience to be able to update this table or this data schema. Perfect. So now we've got employee there as well. That's just what we want. So I hit create app, and that's going to now build that app. So it's created that table in the database, and then it's building an app on top of it. I haven't had to do much fiddling around at all. It's a very intuitive process, but we can see here that it's going to spit out an application at the end. This takes a moment to load.
I think this wait is good enough compared to what you used to do to build a simple app earlier days, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, and we're talking earlier days of the Power Platform. Imagine before the Power Platform where you'd have to code something from the ground up. So this is pretty impressive, I think. But we can see here we've got an app that's usable already. It's got some dummy data in there. I can go through and delete that all, but I can also press new and add a new record each time. So, for example, someone who's at the reception or security in the work site or whatever it might be might have a tablet, and as someone comes in, they can sign each person just using this app. This is one example. There's so many where you could use Power Apps to build something out. Of course, this is the app that it's given me. I can continue to use Copilot to adjust it and make it better fit my needs, change the colors, move things around to really tailor it to exactly what the business problem is. So we haven't gone super deep on the Power Platform, on each of the products in the Power Platform or what those scenarios are. As I said, that would be at least 5 sessions to go into each one on their own. But what I did want to call out is it's not as easy as just buying the licenses, turning it on, and then wishing everything will work the way that you want it to. To be successful in the Power Platform, you really need a strategy around it and really need to understand what those scenarios are. And then how do I think about things like security, or how do I think about deploying it in the best possible way, or educating the people within my organization on being able to build it and use it to solve their problems. So here's a framework of how that might happen, but I always find the customers that have the most success are partnering with a partner that is experienced in the area and has been on that journey before, and they know they know exactly what the issues are and exactly how to adapt an organization to be able to think like this and use low code to accelerate their purpose as well. So I'm going to end on that. Thank you for having me, and I'll throw back to you.
Thank you. I think that was a great insights. Thanks, Alex. Great insights and learning from Alex today. And what a good solution and the technology platform we have today, that is Power Platform. Now it is important that we have understood what Power Platform can do, how we can help you empower in your business, right? And as Alex said, that we have not even scratched the surface of the iceberg, I would say. It is a great product and a technology that can take you to a lot to achieve in your business. So what I'm going to talk about to help you do that is about fusion development teams. And I will talk about more in this section of webinar about fusion development teams and how we can work together to achieve success with adoption of Power Platform in your business. But before doing that, let us do a quick look at what are the challenges as a business face in adopting a new technology platform. And it really sends down a lot of tension or fear when you think about developing some custom apps, right? So these are the few challenges. Whenever someone talks about there are generic products available in market, business applications available in market, purpose built, but every business is unique. And when you think about your process and developing a custom app, you think of the cost involved in developing as well as maintaining that particular custom app. One of the biggest challenge. The second is the manual and repetitive tasks that your organization and people do that limits you from innovating as well as providing that great customer experience because it takes you away from doing what you need to do rather than maintaining and doing manual tasks to keep the wheels moving, right? It's and then the third thing is lack of technical skills and expertise, like technical talent within the organization. And I have some interesting statistics, and I exactly do not know the source of it, but 56% of users and 69% of potential users say that the lack of technical education training opportunities is one of the largest barrier to professional growth. So this is like lack of technical training is also technical talent within an organization is the biggest barrier as well. And then there are siloed departments and development happening within the organization. There are quite a few people who like to take the charge in their hand, and probably someone in finance department will think of automating an AP process. Someone in an inventory department will think of finding a way to do the inventory cycle count. Someone in the customer experience will find a way to get the data from a customer and able to have them log a ticket with your business. But they're all siloed development happening. We need to look at how we can do the collaborative way of working together, and of course the disconnected data. And there are many much more challenges that you would see when you're looking forward to adopt a new technology platform. One of the challenge which not mentioned over here is about what could be the cost and how soon we can start with it. Most of the businesses nowadays have Microsoft Modern Workplace, and if you are having few licenses from E3 or E5, you would be already having a Power Platform licenses. So you already have those licenses and investment into technology already made by your business, but you are unaware of it, what advantages it brings to you. So this is what, when we are talking about fusion development teams, partnering with someone like Exigo Tech, who is expert in developing this kind of an application and initiatives within the organization can help you a lot. So let us look at how we can optimize your technical investment with fusion development, right? So when you partner with Exigo Tech, you add a critical support to train, develop, set up, monitor, and govern overall initiative. You also use our expertise to build smart apps with advanced skills required and empower your organization to enable citizen developers to build purpose specific app in their domain. I will talk about one of our recent case. One of our customers into the process industry, they are into chemical process industry, and they have a big plant in Newcastle. And from their factory, they maintain a lot of big tanks. In that tanks, what they do is they continuously monitor and take readings. Now, that particular application to do that was developed on FileMaker Pro, which is one of the Apple technology, and it was reliant dependent on one single developer, which is not available anymore. So maintenance and risk, which is a technical debt for them now. So how we help them is to convert this application on FileMaker Pro onto the Power Platform. So we use Canvas apps to convert that and build a Power Platform. Now this is a bit of an advanced development from what example Alex showed you, because it is quite advanced in terms of the look, the complexity involved into it. So expertise from Exigo help But when we helped them, they had an in-house developer who was not aware about Power Platform technology. In that process, we helped them to learn about Power Platform and at the same time made them capable of maintaining that, right? And along with this, customer is also empowering their in-house developers to enable them, not only these developers, but individuals to enable them to be a citizen developer. So when you collaborate together, you have this fusion development. When you collaborate with a partner and empower your own employees to come up with this overall ideas, innovations, and make them realize sooner is what a fusion development is all about. And you can optimize that working with us. And how we do that? So there are certain patterns that can help you. With Fusion development, you can expand your development pipeline. I might go a bit into technical words like development pipeline and all, but you don't need to get scared of. Basically, development pipeline and having increase your organization developer velocity, it all goes to improving the way how fast you can turn around and develop these applications. And you can develop with the help of citizen developers, which is your employees. You can develop these small MVPs and then scale it up to the rest of the organization and see a maximum benefit out of it. The same thing, how do you manage this fusion development, right? So it is very important that when you're working at a scale, you need to look after the security aspect of it. You need to look after the build quality of it. So we have a framework in place, which I will be talking into the next slide. But before that, what you can do is with this fusion development team, you can manage that and you can customize your data policies. You can control the connectors, which I was talking about. So all the major cloud applications available in market, and if your business is using it, Power Platform can connect to it. When I say Power Platform, it is Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages, and all. You can control the security aspect of it, and you can even automate the testing and debugging to get a running log of how your activity within the apps to pinpoint the performance, stability, and accessibility issues. And then Microsoft has a great tools like GitHub and all to help you with managing this overall development lifecycle workflows effectively. And this is what you can achieve with Exigo Tech as a partner into the Fusion development. So let's see step by step how we can set you up for success. Now that you have a better understanding of the capabilities of Microsoft Power Platform and the inspiration to build a successful plan, I think the demonstration what Alex gave, it's a next level, right? You can think about what you want to develop and the application being developed. I like this neat, clean UI of it. At the same time, with the Power Platform, it also comes with a lot of templates with it that you can use them, right? And those templates actually caters to your day-to-day business activities. So what we do is we engage in an initial stages into the planning, early into the process. We will assign a business value specialist to help you identify this high value, easy to achieve, and having a greater impact processes that can be automated through Power Platform. In parallel, we will ensure that the platform meets your security and regulatory compliance requirements by providing the best practices and tools to your IT teams. Now, remember, this is a cloud and this is all hosted on Microsoft Cloud, and it has all the if you go to Microsoft Trust Center, you will find that it has all the approvals and compliance ticks done. You can accelerate the adoption. So how we do that is we train the users and drive more value from citizen development. It is very important that your employees who day in day out work onto those manual tasks or onto their business processes, they know where the pain point is and how they can automate. So we can empower them by providing them required training assets and support them by hosting an app in a day events and hackathons to get their concepts idea to realize it. And then we can also establish a center of excellence. So there are toolkits available within Power Platform to establish a center of excellence starter kit, which plays a key part in monitoring governance, maintaining the environments, and keep this development happening on a continuous basis within the organization. So that's a great tool and that's a great framework that we can use to enroll this Power Platform technology adoption within your organization. So a lot of talks, right? And I will teach this to how we can get into the assessment side as well. So a lot of talks and what Exigo Tech has done till now. I think everything nowadays, Exigo Tech being the Microsoft partner into all three clouds of it, we touch through the Copilot across all these aspects, and we work with a lot of customers. I think more or less each and every application development work we do, whether it's Microsoft Dynamics business applications or custom development, we are using Power Platform. Either we are using Power Pages portals to extend the capabilities to external users, or we are developing a Power Apps. For an example, Palmera, one of our customers who is not profit, the body is governed in Australia, but they are providing services in Sri Lanka. More than 20,000 families have benefited, more than 200 field workers, volunteers. They use the Canvas app, develop not one app. We have developed more than 6 apps, which works into the remote area. They go and collect data related to individual demographics about their family, information about their income, understand about their farming, agriculture, and all those aspects of it. We help them into the microfinance. They collect the data and then provide them the finance and then the guidance into the agriculture and also track it back. When the volunteers come back into the connectivity, it gets connected to their SQL database, and from there, the reporting is done into the Power BI. So great example, great success. Same thing, we have developed a lot of Power Apps, which is available in Microsoft App Stores. So it's like you have mobile devices like iOS or Android, and you have millions of apps on that. Similarly, Microsoft has this app source where a lot of Microsoft partners publish their applications. And one of the applications we have published for our customers is purchase order application, which connects with Business Central. Now we can develop this application, or you can develop this application and you can connect with your finance system as well. It could be SAP, it could be Dynamics Finance, it could be NetSuite, it could be anything, right? So Power Platform has that capability that you're not changing something major in your organization. You are just extending those capabilities further. So purchase order application, people not having a full access rights to the finance system can put a purchase requisition, goes through the manager for an approval, and then injects that request into the finance system to the procurement to contact supplier, release a purchase order, and then the requester can actually track what is happening with his request. Such a great visibility. And we have a portfolio of these applications that we have worked with. So we have Microsoft App Source, where we have developed sensitive data sharing app. We have developed DocuSign app, vaccine data app during the COVID time. We have developed this vaccine data app pretty quick. Employee onboarding, offboarding, where we use complete suite of my modern workplace technology. Timesheet app, and we have been continuously developing these solutions for our customers, as well as onto the app source to be released. So what next? How we can get into detail of it? As we spoke about the framework, we and Microsoft has this funding programs available, which are partner led. So what happens is you might have, okay, great, Vinay, we have this technology in place, we have the required licenses, or we look forward to gain more licenses into it, and how we can go about it. So this programs helps you to get into getting started with it. There are programs which works on a various stages on where you are as an organization. So if you just have an idea and you want to envision that idea, envisioning workshop helps. Then you have a business value assessment where you have a specific problem and you want to see how technology can help you. So what we do in these scenarios, we come, we understand the problem at at a bigger scope, do workshops with you, and we produce an output, and the output is different to each individual uh, type of an assessment. And before getting into an assessment, we will speak to you and we will get you a right assessment. So a business value assessment will give you a business case which you can present to your management and board to get an approval to further invest into the system. A solution assessment will go deeper into the technology solution, and we can go up to the tailored demo for a specific requirement and showcase how all this meets your requirement, and the technology investment will prove for you. So there are a lot of assessments available. I will request you can connect with us after this webinar and we can discuss your individual scenario and go into details and find out which assessment would be a right fit for you. That was great. That was from my end. So we have this bonus section, I will call it. And I was talking to Jared, and Jared said that he can add a lot of value when an organization is investing into this uh, Power Platform. So, Jared, if you can come on the video, if you can, and
Yep.
take over. I think you have already taken over the control. So, take us through how your solution can help an organization already in Power Platform or looking forward to get into the Power Platform.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Vinay and Exigo Tech team, and thank you, Alex. It was a great presentation too. I learned a lot through that as well. So really amazing presentation. And what we're sort of finding, I'm from AvePoint. We're a vendor that works very closely with Microsoft in new solutions to market. And what we're finding is now, and especially alongside Copilot, as we've seen, it's so easy to create some of these power platforms and workflows, and working alongside Exigo Tech to help create really business critical information and business critical reporting. Looking beyond that is what would be the risk now that the business starts to rely on some of these applications is what would the risk if some of these were to go down, or be altered or changed due to some of the data sources, or that users may not be able to access some of these reports or may not be able to access some of this functionality that has been created. And this can really create a massive impact on the business. And what it can actually do is create a problem in which you may not be able to develop the reporting, or some of these automated reports have got to customers may be failed, and so on. And it could be a massive corruption in some of these automatic flows. And then we start looking at what could be that downtime in terms of getting some of these. What if the business really does rely on these? So we want to ensure that when we are looking at starting to create some of these applications or Power BI reports and workflows that we can so easily create, we want to make sure that we can have a way to bring them back, and ensure that we can support them at all times. And alongside working with Microsoft, AvePoint can help not only just back up all the native capabilities of the Power Platform apps, but it's taking a snapshot up to 4 times a day of each individual one. So whether it's Power Platform, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps, whatever it is, we're taking that 4 snapshots every day, but also unlimited storage and unlimited retention for all of those snapshots. So ensuring that no matter what, all the different version histories and all different recovery points, you can actually bring that back and bring that data back. But you may not want to bring it back to the same location. So ensuring that, we can actually bring them back in a very granular way, but also to different recovery options as well. So you may want to bring to a new Power BI report or to within a new environment, which is really vital. And working alongside Exigo Tech, you can ensure that no matter what, all your business flows, there'll be zero downtime going forward, which is really, really necessary for your business. To give you a little bit of background around AvePoint, AvePoint's been around for 25 plus years. So we've been around for quite a while. We've been transacting across the world. We are publicly traded, publicly listed. We traditionally deal in our enterprise space, but due to us being able to work with partners, for example, like Exigo Tech and some of our most loyal partners like Exigo Tech, we've been able to reach out to a lot of small businesses and help businesses that really need some of these options going forward. We work really, really closely with Microsoft. We're certified in many different areas: ISO, SOC, SOC 2, all of them, FedRep, IRAP, across all our different platforms. We have a whole bunch of resources in terms of showing our value add to businesses. And we're determined to ensure that working alongside Exigo Tech, we've got the right solution for you. And then to finish it off, if you do have any cloud backup needs, to show you guys that the whole information lifecycle of AvePoint's cloud backup products is not just for the Power Platform. We can, with alongside Exigo Tech, can assist you in all your cloud-to-cloud needs. Thank you so much, Vinay, and thank you so much, Alexander.
Thank you, Jared. I think when your organization is getting invested and depending on to a particular solution, backup plays a pretty important role. And we have seen time and again, and it is very important for everyone to understand that there is a shared responsibility between the Microsoft Cloud and a customer to have that backup responsibilities, right? So, great session. I think great insights from Alex, great insights from Jared as well. We are pretty much doing with the time. Is there any questions for any one of us? We'd like to know, and if you want to discuss anything, please feel free to put your questions into the chat, and we will look forward to answer them. We are available on this for next 2 minutes. Meanwhile, anything if you have, you can reach out to us. You have my contact details, and I think I will. We will also follow up with individuals who have registered for this event. This event would be also available on YouTube going forward, so you will get all the details as well available on public domain. And about Exigo Tech, we are across six, I think five countries and multiple locations within Australia as well. So Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, and India. So we are quite spread and we can help you with a lot of information and how we can establish this practice for you. Wonderful. It seems silence is gold. So thank you, everyone. Thanks again for your time. I think we are in Australia. If you're in Australia, we are heading towards the end of financial year. And I hope everyone had a good financial year and wishing everyone a new prosperous financial year, more successful financial year, and looking forward to speak to everyone in the next new financial year. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time and look forward to see you on the other side. Thank you, Alex. Thank you,
Thank
Jared.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everyone.